Assalamu alaikum. Today we will continue by the chapter Economical Functions, Supply, Demand and Elasticity. We will start by definitions about the elasticity of the demand. Elasticity of the demand is used by economists as a measure of how responsive demand is to price change at a particular price P0. Notation: the elasticity of the demand is usually denoted by E of P. Determination: E of P equal minus P d prime of P over D of P, where D of P is the demand function. Now, elasticity and demand. First, the demand is elastic at P0 if E of P0 greater than 1. The interpretation in this case is: for an increase of 1% on the unit price P0, the demand will decrease by absolute value of E of P0%. Second, the demand is inelastic at P0 if E of P0 less than 1. The interpretation of this case is: for an increase of 1% on the unit price P0, the demand will decrease by absolute value of E of P0%. The third case is: the demand has a unit elasticity at P0 if E of P0 equal to 1. And the final case is: the demand is perfect inelastic at P0 if E of P0 equal to 0. So let us remember the following rules. Let D of P be the demand function, E of P equal minus P d prime of P over D of P. Demand is elastic at P0 if E of P0 greater than 1. Demand is inelastic at P0 if E of P0 less than 1. Finally, demand has a unit elasticity at P0 if E of P0 equal to 1. Example 1. Let D be the demand function, defined as D of P equal tan minus P over 3. 1. Find the elasticity of the demand E of P with respect to the unit price P. First, we calculate the derivative of the demand function D of P. So the derivative of D of P is d prime of P equal minus 1 over 3. And the rule of the elasticity of the demand is E of P equal minus P d prime of P over dP. Then we substitute the obtained value of d prime of P and the given expression D of P in this rule. Then we simplify it and we get E of P equal P over 30 minus P. 2. Part A. Calculate E of 4. In order to calculate E of 4, we just replace x by 4 in the expression of the elasticity of the demand E of P, and we get E of 4 equal to over 13, which is approximately equal to 0.15. Part B. Is D elastic or inelastic at P equal 4? D is inelastic, since the obtained value E of 4, which is equal to 0.15, is less than 1. The last part is: give an economical interpretation for E of 4. Interpretation: for an increase of 1% on the unit price P0 equal 4, the demand will decrease by absolute value of E of P0%, which is 0.15%. Now, application 1. Let D be the demand function defined on the open interval 0-20 as D of P equal to 100 e power minus 0.3p. Part 1. Verify that D is a decreasing function. Pause the video and try to solve this part. Solution. In this part, we need to verify that D is a decreasing function. That means we want to show that the derivative of D of P is negative. So let us calculate the derivative of D of P. D prime of P equal to 100 times the derivative of minus 0.3p, which is minus 0.3, times e power minus 0.3p. So we get d prime of P equal minus 60 e power minus 0.3p. E power minus 0.3p is strictly greater than 0, and minus 60 is strictly less than 0. Thus, d prime of P is strictly less than 0. Then D is a decreasing function. Part 2. Find the elasticity of the demand E of P with respect to the unit price P. Solution. E of P equal minus P d prime of P over dP. Then we substitute the expressions of d prime of P and D of P in the rule of E of P. Then we get E of P equal 0.3p. 3. Calculate E of 10. Is D elastic or inelastic at P equal 10? Interpret the result economically. E of 10 equals 0.3 times 10, which is equal to 3. Thus, the demand D is elastic since E of 10 equals 3, which is greater than 1. The economical interpretation is, for an increase of 1% on the unit price 10, the demand will decrease by 3%. Now, application 2. An enterprise produces electronic objects. The demand function and supply function, expressed in hundreds of objects, are respectively modeled as f of x equal 9 over 4 plus ex, and g of x equal ex minus 4, where x is the unit price expressed in 1000 Lebanese lira, and x belongs to the closed interval 0-10. In this application, the unit of x is 1000 Lebanese lira, and the unit of the demand and supply functions is in hundreds of objects. 1. Calculate the number of demanded objects for a unit price of 5000 Lebanese lira. First, we find x. So x equal 5000 divided by 1000. We get 5. Then we replace x equal to 5 in the expression of the demand function f of x. And we get f of 5 approximately equal to 0.059. Finally, we answer the question by multiplying 0.059 by the unit of the demand f of x, which is 100. Therefore, the number of the demanded objects for a unit price 5000 Lebanese lira is 0.059 times 100, which is equal to 5.9 or 6 objects. 2. Calculate the unit price for a supply of 400 objects. So in this part, we need to calculate the unit price for a supply of 400 objects. Here, g of x is given, and we need to find x. So g of x equal 400 divided by 100, which is equal to 4. Then we solve the equation g of x equal to 4, and we get x equal to 8, which is approximately equal to 2.079. Therefore, the unit price for a supply of 400 objects is 2.079 times 1000, the unit of the price x, and we get 2079 Lebanese lira. 3. Calculate the equilibrium price alpha and f of alpha, then interpret the two results economical. In order to calculate the equilibrium price alpha, we need to solve the equation f of x equal g of x. So we solve the equation f of x equal g of x, and we get x approximately equal to 1.609. Thus, alpha approximately equal to 1.609 and f of alpha equal to 1.0002. The interpretation of the two results economical, alpha and f of alpha are: the equilibrium price is 1.609 times 1000, which is equal to 1609 Lebanese lira. And the equilibrium quantity is 1.0002 times 100, which is equal to 100.02 or 100 objects. 4. Part A. Find the elasticity of the demand E of x with respect to the unit price. In order to find the elasticity of the demand E of x, first we calculate the derivative of f of x. So f prime of x equal minus 9 e of x over 4 plus e of x all square. Then e of x equal minus x f prime of x over f of x. After that, we substitute the expressions of f prime of x and f of x, then we simplify them and we get e of x equal x ex over 4 plus ex. B. Calculate e of 5. Is f elastic or inelastic at x equal 5? Interpret the result economically. Same as the previous application. First, we replace x by 5 in the expression of e of x, and we get e of 5 approximately equal to 4.87. And since e of 5 is greater than 1, hence the demand is elastic at x equal 5. Therefore, for an increase of 1% on the unit price 5000 Lebanese lira, the demand will decrease by 4.87%.